Good evening, Ethrafa. We are Magamatus,
and Irun of the Flamer Division.
and this is your burning hot news. Starting with some sad news, we must announce the resignation of Ausla F. Baka S. Potaculeo.
He is resigned due to being busy in the real world. He will be missed greatly by this community.
Indeed, he will. His spot as leader of the Death Cavaliers will temporarily be taken up by Hierarch himself.
On to our next subject. The Flamer Avatar is coming along quite nicely. There will be revolutionary new toggles to help evolve the Flamers into a symbiotic meld of acid and fire.
The avatar is being created by Auslara Muranes Potaranea, someone who has a great reputation as the creator of the bootcamp avatars. You see,
Indeed.
personally, I think that these avatars, as being the person who decided what was going to be on them, I think from what I've seen so far, they're looking super cool.
Absolutely. I gotta say, I'm pretty excited about this because, as you know, we're the Flamers. We are going to be the ones who get to experience these avatars first. So I am
Mhm.
extremely excited. So
From
you will definitely see them most likely on the next episode of the news. We will be likely wearing them.
Indeed, from what I know, we are including a axe made of fire, a fire extinguisher,
Yes,
and some tails to really give us that
all things that
dual
we talked
effect of
about.
acid and flame. Indeed, indeed.
Yes, yes.
Now, finally, things are less than quiet on the romantic front for one Hierarch Elahrair von Cure. He has been claimed as a mate by one of our quartermasters, but there's a certain Vitenu who is hot on Hierarch's tail. We
Ooh.
come to you with interviews from the both of them. Let's take a look. We are here with Coyote, the Vitenu that is trying to win the heart of the Hierarch. Coyote, would you like to say hello to our audience?
Hello, all of you. I hope all of you are good watching from home.
All right, terrific. Let's get on with the questions then. So Hierarch, how does he make you feel?
Makes you feel very inspired and very warm inside.
That's good. That's good. Um, do you have any romantic feelings toward him at all? Like anything you would like to put out there?
Feel his leadership and the way he presents himself is very appealing to me.
I see. So, considering this, how are you trying to win him over?
Trying to spend more time with him, and I like calling him by his real name too.
That's good. That's good. That's a good place to start. I would continue with that. And finally, so typically in situations like this, you would have competition. What would you say if you had competition for the heart of the Hierarch?
I don't have to worry. I'm confident in myself that if they were to choose that, they would rather choose someone who's more manageable and actually can make things more situational and make it convenient for their both needs.
I see. Well, you heard it here first, folks. Coyote is ready for anything and willing to win that heart in any way he possibly can. So we are here with Mushy Vamps, the quartermaster who has claimed Hierarch to be their quote-unquote mate. Mushy, would you like to introduce yourself to the audience?
Hi, I'm Mushy or Vampy, whatever you prefer. And yes, I am Ayak's partner. He's amazing and I love him very much.
So, I have a few questions for you. First of all, how does Hierarch make you feel?
In all honesty, whenever I'm next to him, I genuinely feel this is going to sound really bad, but it's not, and don't take it that way. I feel like a dumb blonde next to a scientist. It's kind of like the dumb blonde and like smart but cool nerd. Even though he's not cool, he's actually nerdy as well. Like he's a nerd, but I love him. I'm smart. Don't get me wrong. I just turn soft when I'm next to him. But I love him. He makes me feel very special. Yes.
I see. And then are there any romantic feelings you feel as if you need to confess for the audience now that you haven't already?
Hey, Eric, if you're seeing this, I love you. And I love you, and I hate it when a bitch try me when they know a piece is mine, and they try to disrespect me. So you know, you my boo thing, keep it respectful, or I will fuck you up and fuck your training schedule up on purpose. Mwah.
Call the police.
Gotcha. Anyways, what have you been doing to win him over, per se?
Being myself, being dumb, being
That's-
kooky, being an artist.
That's good. Being yourself is always something you would like in a relationship, I feel. And then, lastly, if you were to have any competition, what would you do? How would you feel? What's the story behind that?
Oh my god, I almost sound like a cringy ass yandere girlfriend. But like, it's one little speck, this one little. Can I be honest? Can I be genuinely honest?
We are being honest here.
This one, not gonna name names. This one femboy in particular thinks he can win over what he has not gotten and what I already have. And I just want to say I don't play those games at all. And from Hayek's standpoint, I got a little picture. No, I'm not gonna snitch, but like little image of what he looks like, what he dibbles in, what he dabbles in. Baby, I want to let you know my thighs are bigger than yours, and they will gladly wrap around Hayek's neck, and not yours. But you know, keep up the shitty work, but it ain't going nowhere. Mwah.
I see.
Competition is not good competition with me at all.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank
If
you
you get this
very
fuck
much
around
for
this
the
news station, I will
interview.
spit on him and I will spit on you. I will jump over this damn counter. Don't cut this out. I will kill you. I will kill every.
All right, now, ladies and gentlemen, everything in between and creatures alike, it is time to see our division of the week.
Birthed in sand, formed by the heat of battle. We are the hardened diamonds of the Fae. Its mighty wall, its mighty blade. Tivziatus brutos. We are the ground, we are the caverns. By our will, the mountains bend their knees to us. If they do not, we shall make them. During the War of our Ascension, we sieged directly to the Cathedral of the Astral Father, tearing that filthy monument to the bone. Not a scrap of it would stand, for our blood is our weapon, our spear, and to the heart of the king we shall send it. Thus is the mighty will of Brutus.
Man, the Grenadiers.
They're super cool. They were definitely my second option. If I wasn't in the Flamers, I definitely would be part of their group. I'm quite impressed with all the work that they've been putting in recently. So, thank
Indeed.
you.
Of course. My apologies for flinging that at you, but I completely agree. My second choice, had I not picked Flamers, it would have been the Grenadiers because I really like total decimation of.
Blowing things up.
Yeah, it was either going to be blowing things up or melting things, and I chose melting things. That does not mean that I still don't have a passion for blowing things up.
Yes, of course. It's now time again for Ask an Arc and others. Let's get right to that.
All right, we're here back again on Ask an Arc and others. We're here today with Alslara Militants Potaranea. Would you like to say hello to our audience?
Good evening, and good evening to you, Magamatus.
Indeed, good evening. So, we have some questions for you here today. Would
I see.
you like me to just go ahead and start with those?
If you would, please.
All right. How does it feel working directly for the Hierarch?
Working directly under the Hierarch is, of course, a privilege. I get to work alongside him as well as for him. All things that he says go through me and the rest of the Owsla, so as you know, we work in tangent with the Hierarch. And so all our work gets done efficient, fast, and if needed to, as a group. And when that work comes to us, we're expected to fulfill our duties and, go 110% as always. But working with him, working alongside him, it's got two sides to it. First side is the serious side. It can get quite serious with like all of the outside diplomatic issues that come along. So the inside issues as well. That's a hefty time. And at times it can be overbearing, but there are also these times where it's just more light and foolhardy, where we can just, discuss with each other over some certain trivial issues, like a new blood going out of hand or something like that. It can get quite fun.
I see, I see. I would assume it would be, pretty fun working for Hierarch all the time.
There's never something
he's a
that's
fun
the
guy.
same when you're in this job. It's always something different.
Next question. How do you make avatars so fast?
Well, since what's it called? I've been wanting to make avatars for like the entirety of last year. I've been saving up myself with what little money I get, and once I got my PC, I just went straight into it. I spend around 9 to 10 hours every day working on avatars. Well, not this week because I've had IRL issues, but usually I spend 9 to 10 hours. And I juggle between things like making the avatars themselves, tweaking the problems that come along, and adding on new features and things to them, such as the particles and like kill things and stuff like that. It's a juggle
see.
between a load of things within that time frame. But with all that happens, and since I've been working on it for a month, that's like at least 100 to 200 hours of avatar work already under my belt.
Wow. That's impressive. That's really impressive.
Thank you.
All right, next one. Is it true that you can have sex with your hands as, spiders typically do in nature?
Hmm. Yes, it is true. I've got sperm receptacles on the center of my palms, meaning, of course, I can just shoot my gametes out when I need to. But of course, as you know, that makes, physical contact with other people very either arousing or awkward. So I don't like doing handshakes or high fives or anything like that unless it's with my mate. So, long story
see.
short, I could do that, but I choose not to.
Understandably, yeah.
Mm.
Folks at home, just, take that as a word of warning. Make sure that you do not give this man a handshake unless you're into that sort of thing, I guess.
Knowing a couple of the members in here, they would try.
Mm-hmm. For certain. Anyways, are you
I'm looking.
able to fly?
In what sense of the matter?
I think they mean hmm, like you as a person. Are you able to fly like yourself?
I can see this as two ways. Am I able to fly with some apparatus like a plane or an Edekai, or can I fly as just myself and myself alone? I'll answer both. If I can fly with an apparatus, then you may not know me at all because I was the Lord Voyager for a year or so before coming to Lara. So it would be a very redundant and silly question to ask if I can fly or not. As in my body, just me alone, I cannot fly. I can jump really fast. I can even glide if I make a web parachute or web glider between my legs. But this would not enable me to fly as I'm too heavy. I could probably genetically augment myself to be more flying applicable, but I see no reason to.
I see. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah. Um, where do your webs come from?
They come from my abdomen. My abdomen is not with me right now as I needed it to take it off for other reasons. But they come out my abdomen like all spiders usually do.
I see. Um, next question. Can you express the feelings you've had being constantly enhanced to reach Auslara?
Hmm. My feelings of being genetically augmented, well, it is very, actually, a complicated balance most people do not know. Because when you become Ausla, that is the tip top of genetic augmentation. We're known as the pinnacle of perfection due to the fact we are so augmented, we're not even considered Ethrafa anymore. Or we are still part of the same species, it's just we're so far detached from them. So there comes the side of arrogance because we're now at the top. It's kind of like how custodians view space marines. They view them as lower versions of themselves that don't do as best a job as they do. But I constantly remind all my Ausla not to look like this because one, you look arrogant as shit. That is not a good look for the Ausla. And two, you came from them. It's like what's it called? It's like bullying a baby almost. You were a baby once. Of course, you're going to make mistakes and not do as well as you do now. So any Ausla that are, arrogant like that, like looking down on that, I swiftly slap them in the face.
Yeah, I understand that. Arrogance is the main fault in a lot of people.
Mm.
Another pretty heavy question. What does it take to be Royal Guard?
It takes a lot of will and dedication, and especially a lot of time. The actual requirements are as such. You need to have specialized in each and every single division. This is the first part about it. So that's going into all 6 divisions and taking the test and earning each and every single genetic augmentation and knowledge that division has to bear. And you also have to become a sergeant in 3 of those divisions. There can be any division if you're choosing, but you have to be in at least 3. If you want to go higher and get to all of them, feel free. You'll be more looked upon, and you can possibly nab yourself a leading role within the Owls, like if I deem it necessary. But the requirement is 3 sergeants in 3 divisions. And there's also this last requirement that isn't really talked about, but is still a requirement nonetheless. You have to be looked favorably upon the hierarch. Since you work so close to the hierarch and you're in tangent with him 24/7, you could be called like I've been called straight up at 6 in the morning to go do some shit, and I was just like, fuck sakes, and I gone and done it. But since you work so close with him, you must be friends with him essentially. So if you want to get into the Owsla, make sure that you are on good terms with the hierarch, because there could be a point where he could just outright say no, and you're not allowed in. That also does come with a point as well. Look favorably upon the Owsla themselves, as Owsla aren't tied to the same rules as the Ethrafa are. If we just deem it that you're not good enough to be an Owsla, even if you have met the requirements, we can just say no as well, and you would not be let in. It's not a requirement to look favorably upon us, but if we feel like it's necessary, we can just not let you in.
I see. That sounds like a lot of hard work, I'll be real. I'll be honest.
It took me a year and like 2 months to get to where I am right now. And since the requirement has now changed, it's probably going to take even longer for those who wish to do it now. So this is a very long weeding process, which takes those who aren't good enough out.
I see. If you don't mind me asking, what were the requirements whenever you became Owsla?
It was a lot more relaxed, which personally I did not like, so I changed it. It was just become specialists in each and every division. That was it. I didn't like that, so I said bump it up.
I mean, understandable. Understandable.
We only attained the best of the best within the Owsla, as all Royal Guards should be, no matter what crew or server you're a part of. Which is, going to be honest, I look down on some of the Royal Guards from other servers as well, because I've seen some of their requirements. They are not. I have not seen one that's up to our standards as of now.
Well, yeah. I mean, people can do whatever they want. However, that will not change that we have quality Royal Guard. I know that for a fact. All right, now final question. And I am reading this verbatim as it is written. Why that thorax so thick?
Volkfestus, I'm coming to kick your ass. I know it was you. And to correct you, it's not my thorax, because my thorax would be my chest. It's my abdomen. You fool. You have 3 days to live.
They could be asking about your tatas. I mean, I don't know if that's proper
My
terminology,
tatas.
but
I'm a full-grown
breasticles.
Dude. I have no breasts. To begin, I don't have any nipples. Underneath this is just a pure exoskeleton. Spiders have no need for lactation.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. All right. Now, thank you for being here, Militants. It was nice talking to you.
And thank you for letting me onto this. I feel like as if the Owlsla are we're so away from the Ethrafa, no one gets to know about us all that much. And being able to convey what I have to offer here and some of the things that I can say without having to go to each and every individual Ethrafa is a very good way of communicating to the masses that, we're here and we're alive.
I completely agree. Now, let's get back to the studio where we can wrap up this broadcast. Transition. Good to see that Miranus is, doing well as usual.
Yes, yes, yes. Very well indeed.
Indeed. Miranus is always a role model for everyone. I
Absolutely.
appreciate him as sort of that figure,
Yes, yes. I definitely look up to him. Uranus, when you watch this, I want you to know that I look up to you greatly.
Indeed. Everyone here at the News of Ethrafa, we love you dearly.
I could just give him a kiss on the lips.
Yeah, so could I.
Apologies. Continue. Continue.
Anyways. That's all for today, folks.
Thank you for watching, and remember to stay safe and
Stay toasty.